Alright, chat. We're going to be watching a retelling of the Guby analog horror with theories and stuff like that. So we're going to go ahead and do that and get the show on the road. Sound good? We good? We're going to react to this. Let's jump up in it.
Hello gorgeous people, what is going on, and welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going over a newer analog horror series called Guby and Friends. Guby.
Also, the short time that I did use TikTok was where I found this analog horror. Showed up at 3 a.m. randomly across my feed. I've kind of been invested in it ever since, because there's so much weird shit going on with this one.
Guby is a character in his own show that teaches kids about letters, numbers, shapes, and more. But things start to get weird when Guby starts getting really aggressive on his show and kids that watch it start going missing. So what happened to these kids? Where did they go? And how is Guby involved in all this? Today we're going to try to answer all of those questions and more. The Guby and Friends channel will be at the link in the top of the description down below. Please be sure to go and support your analog horror content creators. Alright guys, I hope you brought your school supplies because we are going to learn a lot from Guby today. So here we go. Let's jump right in. Episode 1. Counting.
Brace yourselves. I'm giving everybody a seizure warning now. And a loud noise warning. Because this shit's gonna be spastic.
Hey kids, my name's Guby, and today
I thought it was
we're gonna
Guby.
learn about numbers. This is number 1, then this is number 2. It
Okay.
comes after 1, and this is number 3. This one right here, this is number 4. This is
Very insightful, Guby.
number 5. This is number 6. This is number 7. And this is number 8. This is number 9. And finally, we have number 10.
Okay.
I love numbers. Do you?
Yes.
Oh, that's good. Do you want to see my favorite number?
Yes.
It's on one of these. Have you ever seen one of these?
He wants your credit card information.
It's called
Nah, there's no way, right?
a
Credit card. Bring it over here. Can you read those numbers on the front to me? Yes. Can you read the numbers below that for me? And now, turn it over. Can you read those 3 numbers to me?
He's losing his fucking gourd.
Wow, you did such an awesome job. I'll see you next time. Bye.
I cannot believe that. So we're immediately starting off with this guy Guby trying to scam kids out of their parents' credit card information. That's insane. Wow.
I'm so glad that when this analog horror was made, they made sure to let them know it is not for kids. Because you don't know how many kids would actually be willing to go grab their family's credit card and give that information out.
Okay. Definitely not where I thought this was gonna go. To be fair though, I think we have like 8 videos here today, so this could get a lot darker. I did think I saw something though. Hold up, let me go back. It was during like the glitchy part where he was asking for my credit card. That can't be right. That can't be Morse code. All right, so we're jumping into one of these. Okay. Give me a second. I'm gonna attempt to try to decipher this. Update, I couldn't decipher it, but thank you to the comments, because the comments seem to be saying that it's saying evading in Morse code. I mean, if there's any Morse code
Or escaping.
experts, feel free to take a look at it yourself and let me know in the comments, but people seem to be saying it's either evading or escaping, but I'm seeing more people say evading than anything else. Another thing I want to point out is the description for this video, which is just like Like there's so much censored here you can't even really read it. But overall, I do like the style of it. It's definitely like a kid show type thing, like something that you would see on.
It's redacted because Guby is an anomalous entity. A lot of people consider him to be, mind you, I haven't watched the series, only one episode, but from what I've seen from people in the comment section, a lot of people think he's a tulpa, which is a thought form, an entity that comes into reality based on how many people believe in it.
TV, obviously extremely distorted. One question I do have though, what the hell is he? Is this like a type of animal? Like I just don't know what kind of eyes these are. Kind of like frog eyes, right? Don't frogs kind of have like that rectangle in their eye, that thing? I don't know, let me know in the comments, unless we do find out later. But pretty good first video. I'm kind of scared because all of these videos in this series are very short. So if they're gonna have things that are like single frames, we might be in trouble. And I could definitely see myself missing one or two here. But let's immediately jump right into the next one. Episode 2, Alphabet. Ooh, let's.
Hey kids,
it's still
my
pretty
name's
glitchy.
Guby, and today we're gonna learn the ABCs.
Let's go.
This is
He's freaking out a little bit.
letter A, B, C, D, E, F, G,
H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P.
Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X,
Man, he is struggling with those last letters.
Y, and Z.
Nice.
I love letters. Do you?
Yes, I do.
Aw, that's good. Letters can be used to spell words. Let me show you my favorite 2 words.
Okay.
My favorite words are
That's a child. That's a child.
He killed me?
Now you know your ABCs. I'll see you next
He said, help me.
time. Bye.
Alright, this is what I was thinking this was gonna be. I didn't think Guby was gonna be trying to steal my credit card information. I definitely thought he was gonna be abducting or killing children though. Honestly, the whole alphabet part seems very normal up until he's like, let me tell you my 2 favorite words, which are help me. And it sounds like a little girl saying it. And there were definitely a lot of flashes there of like different things. So we're gonna try to go through and see them all. By the way, I like when the screen distorts that you could see like, it looks like animation, you know what I mean? Like you could see the grid on him
You can see the mesh.
and stuff, and it shows it in different colors and whatnot. I like that a lot. It's almost like as if the show is breaking. There's some kind of text up here. Denim shorts, something information is, continue reading. I know another thing does flash here, so maybe we'll get to see more of what it says. Oh, okay, picture of a little girl in the bottom left. I'm guessing that's the little girl that's probably talking to us right now. Here we go. Okay. Description. Okay, so date of birth is January 17th, 2020. So does this take place in 2024? Because if it does, or even like late 2023, that would mean that this girl's like 3 or 4?
Well, think about the way the Guby is set up. It's meant to be a show for children that are under double-digit age.
Jesus, man, that's really young. This looks like this says Michaela Atkins was wearing a pink t-shirt and denim shorts. I'm guessing while in the care of her grandmother, Carrie. And then it says Boyce here on the night of December 7th, 2023. Oh my God, yeah, so this does take a place around 2023, 2024. So she was almost 4. She was gonna turn 4 in like a month. A 3-year-old missing is really, really sad. Authorities believe Michaela was blank. I don't know what this says. The family room. So I'm guessing she disappeared, like she was last seen in the family room. Whoa. Okay, hold up. Rewind that. This is interesting, right? Because think about this. If we're watching this as like the perspective of a kid show on TV, this looks like the camera on the kid show kind of falls down. Like, see how everything starts going up? It looks like it falls down and then shows what's on the other side of the TV, which, let me just confirm.
It's an interactive experience to a new level.
This real quick.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's actually nuts.
Don't worry, I'll flip it upside down for you so you don't have to do that. But that's a little girl, I'm guessing, in a family room watching TV. But it seems like Guby is the reason why this girl's missing. So is it like he straight up like snatched her into the TV kind of thing? I mean, this is analog horror, anything can happen. But it could also be like maybe Guby somehow knows where all these kids are when they're watching, so he sends someone after them or something like that. But it is interesting.
I'm more inclined to believe that he's going and snatching these kids from the TVs like them fucking alternates.
This blonde-haired little girl was last seen in the family room, and this girl is blonde in a family room watching Guby. Oh my god! And then there's the missing poster. Okay, you could see at the top there it says Michaela Atkins. Yep, December 7th. Yeah, it's the full poster. Still, the description's hard to read. Definitely the same girl that's implying. I really like that
He's gotta be snatching them up like he's an alternate.
shot though, that it kind of like goes down and reverses. That's really sick. All right, well, I gotta know more, so let's jump into the next one. I'm also guessing that Guby does have friends because the name of this channel is Guby and Friends, so there's got to be other characters that come into this at some point. But all right, on to the next one. Episode 3, Colors. Jesus. Bro, what happened? What happened since the last video? You lose your voice box or something? What's going on? All right, looks like I'm gonna be reading the subtitles for this one, so I'll lower the video audio a bit. Hey kids, my name's Guby. Today we're going
He's freaking the fuck out.
to learn about colors. This one is the color blue. I'm colorblind, this ain't gonna be good. This is the color of the sky. This one is the color orange. It is the color of an orange. Thank you. This is the color green. It is the color of a leaf. This is the color purple. It's the color of a bruise. Out of all the purple things on the entire
You literally could have said something else. Like, there's a purple car on your table.
planet, you thought the best example was a bruise? It's kind of weird, Guby. This one's the color brown, the color of dirt. This one is the color yellow, the color of Guby. I love colors, do you? Do you want to see my favorite? My favorite color is red. It is the color of blood. I love blood, do you? No, Guby, I don't.
He's a murderer.
Oh god. Wow, you did such an awesome job. I'll see you next time. Bye.
Like, what the fuck?
Here you are. Try one of these.
We don't want your sweet snacks anymore.
No more snacks? Then take this.
Oh, don't.
And this.
Help, Mr. Phillies, help. Help, help.
What the hell was that at the end?
If I remember correctly, I've seen that last bit before. I think that was a stop motion ad meant to prevent cavities.
That was like a whole different show. I can't even begin to tell you what these things are. They look like teeth. Like that one on the right looks kind of tooth shaped. No? But I don't know what that dark thing is. What is that thing it's holding? It looks like it's holding a thing with teeth, like chewing them up. I'll go back to that. Okay, we're back to going frame by frame because there was a lot of flashing things here when bro was talking about blood. Okay, we got another kid's missing person poster here. Date of birth is June 5th, 2019. Hair is brown, eyes are brown, sex is male, race is white. The remarks though this time are clear to see, but a bunch of numbers, which I'm guessing is some sort of puzzle. So please give me a second while I try to figure that out. Okay, so good news is I got it, but I couldn't really fully do this one myself. I had to use a decoder. Apparently the way this works is that this kind of code puts the alphabet in a grid, and then you use those numbers to get coordinates on the alphabet to then spell certain terms. In this case, it's hey kids, Guby here. Today we're going to learn about Andrew. So that must be the name of this missing kid that we're seeing here, this missing boy. I do think it's very interesting though that it's under the remarks section. Like that's Guby probably shouldn't be chatting in the remarks section of a missing
He really shouldn't, but you know, it's Guby, so.
poster or missing person report. We don't have this kid's last name yet though. Let's see, maybe we'll get it if I keep going frame by frame here. Okay, so we get another picture of Andrew here on the bottom left, and then we see Andrew again on the right, and it looks like he was 4 as well when he went missing. Oh, okay, and again a picture of a kid on a couch, presumably watching Guby, and that is how he must have went. What is that, Guby? Bro, first of all, go to a dentist.
Fucking terrifying.
There's something, you got to get those fixed. There's something wrong with those. But okay, so Guby has an extremely dark side, it seems. Andrew Connor, though, is the name. Missing since December 11th, 2023. So this kid went missing only 4 days after Michaela did. Again, not many details, but we could assume it's the exact same thing since we also just saw a kid on a couch. It does say at the bottom though, if you have any information concerning this person, please contact your local police or the nearest blank field office blank. Oh.
His eyeballs are huge.
Okay, so, and then we see Michaela's poster again with Guby's eyes. I hate that. Also, Andrew went missing in Provo, Utah, and Michaela went missing in Boise, Idaho. So that's why it said Boise in the last one. Got it. I believe Idaho and Utah are like right next to each other too. Michaela Atkins was last seen wearing a pink shirt and denim shorts while at the home of her grandma. Boise on the night of December 7, 2003. Authorities believe Michaela was abducted from the family room. Okay, so authorities do believe she was abducted, but because we're watching Guby here, we know that this guy's probably responsible. Yeah, so that seems to be it from that video. It's
Yeah, that makes sense.
insane how much info you get in just 2 minutes, and it's such a simple video unless you like pause for those single frames. I do like that a lot. I love that it keeps showing us the kids watching it too. I think that's really cool. Side note though, very interesting, these videos were uploaded like very shortly after the days that these kids have gone missing. Like this video we just watched was uploaded on December 17th and Andrew went missing on December 11th. I gotta keep getting more of this. This is interesting. Also, one last thing. I found where that clip at the end is from. It's from a short film called The Munchers, a Fable from 1973. The whole thing is about claymation teeth that are learning to keep themselves healthy. And this guy, Mean Jack Sweets, basically keeps coming around telling the teeth to have these candy to give them cavities, and that's the thing that attacks the tooth in the clip that we saw. Honestly, at this moment, I'm not sure why this is important yet. I do think it's interesting that this is a clip from a 1973 film, and we're supposed to be watching Guby in 2023, 2024. So I guess we'll see the importance of this later. Let's jump into the next one.
Ooh. Are we spookified yet? Chat, are we spookified yet?
Episode 4. Shapes. Alright, so in this one we're learning shapes. What has been going on with this guy the last 2 episodes?
He's been tweaking off the galaxy gas.
Man. Also, notice how everything's very, like, angular in the background because we're learning about shapes today. No,
I don't love them when you talk about them.
Guby, I do not. At least I don't like majority of the shapes that you just listed. Those were not shapes.
What the fuck? Overstimulation alert.
This wasn't scaring me, really. It was just creepy, but that bugged me out quite a bit. That freaked me out. But talk about the single frames I have to look through right now. Oh my god. All right, I think we're definitely gonna start at the section where it talks about a missing girl. It's so weird though. He goes from shapes to then being like plastic lid, plastic spoon, car battery, broken light bulb, rotten egg, and this is a little girl. Like, bro, what? Oh my god, it's a new little girl too. Sophia Anthony, age 9. Okay, so older this time. Okay, so now we got Sophia Anthony. I do not
She looks terrified.
like that. I know we've been seeing the kids like watching the show, but that is a really creepy picture if this is Sophia. Okay, here's her poster. December 17th, 2023. Ooh. Hold on a second. Interesting weird little note I just realized. Video 1 counting is posted on December 8th, right? But Michaela went missing on December 7th. Video 2 is posted on December 12th, but Andrew went missing on December 11th. Then video 3 was posted on December 17th, and it looks like this girl went missing on December 17th. So it's almost like every time there's an upload, that's the episode that the kid watches that goes missing in the next video. Does that make sense? I mean, it even says down here that she was watching TV when she, and then I'm guessing went missing. Also, this one was in California, so a lot of this is taking place in the west of America. Was last seen in her father's home wearing a blue t-shirt and brown pants. No suspects have been caught, I'm guessing. And it's Sacramento, California. And yup, December 17th. All right, this is where it gets totally nuts because the amount of things that flash on screen here is insane. So let's slowly look through it. Okay, I can't even begin to tell you what this thing is on the right.
It's Guby. It's
Right, it looks
Guby.
like it could be another character that doesn't fully look like Guby, you know? Then we're inside Gooby's mouth. Hey, yo. Okay, we see this is Andrew, I'm pretty sure. Now, is this Guby? It looks like Gooby's a human and just has some other face
This looks like a guy mascotting for Guby.
on. This is the rest of Sophia's poster. So she was born on June 28th, 2014. So she was like 10, I guess, when she went missing. 10 or 9. So it seems like there's no real age range. It's just like kids, really, in general. And what's on the bottom here seems to be like another one of those codes. Ooh. So this one doesn't actually look like it's from Guby. He is not what he says he is, or he is not what he says me is, but I'm guessing this is supposed to be he. In the last one, they also spelled kids wrong, so I'm guessing a letter or two could be out there. But I'm guessing this is he's not what he says he is. Michaela Atkins, age 3, was last seen wearing pink shirt and denim shorts. Andrew Connor, age 4, was last seen wearing a gray sweatshirt and black pants. Andrew's mother told police he... So more of Michaela's here. Authorities believe Michaela was abducted from the family room while Carrie Ann Atkins. So Carrie Ann Atkins is her grandmother. Okay, so we have all 3 of the kids here. Sophia Anthony, age 9, was last seen in her father's home wearing a blue t-shirt and brown pants, and no suspects.
Do you see the mask in the corner, bro?
7. Andrew Connor. to us as a burning bush and said we could kill the hurricane bird.
That's from I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream.
So looking this up, this is actually a quote from a short story called I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. So basically, in short, I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream is a story about an AI that tortures humans, which I guess you can compare to Guby if you consider him the AI. Maybe he's like taking these kids and torturing them somehow. I don't know, that's the only like actual connection I could make so far.
It's just Guby. And like another iteration.
Okay, this looks like another character here that we haven't seen. That's definitely not Guby. It's wearing like different clothes and has gloves and stuff. Different head too. Okay, all these flashing images seem to just keep repeating the posters that we've seen. Oh my god.
That is a massive cipher.
That is a lot of numbers to decrypt. Thank you so much, Ivasco009 in the comments. They were able to type out all those numbers. I typed out a bunch of them and apparently I messed up somewhere, so thank you for translating this. Panic surged through the children, their screams drowned out by the cacophony of his chilling melody, their hope for escape dwindling in the face of an insurmountable horror that seemed to have taken on a life of its own. Apparently, cacophony is a large mixture of sounds. This is scary, is that you see this thing on the right here. Do not look into his eyes. Oh, maybe that's what causes him to take you, is looking into his eyes? It's so creepy though that you see this guy on the right and he's moving. And you could tell that's Guby. Do not listen to what he says. He lies. Yeah, so that video was kind of insane. Tons of interesting information there. Let's just jump into
That image of the basement kind of reminds me of an old 4chan post.
next one. Episode 5. Animals. Alright, still Jesus.
Fucking A.
Oh, he's normal again.
Favorite shape is...
My favorite shape is a circle.
I find myself consumed by thoughts of him, his antics playing out vividly in my mind's eye.
This is a cat.
We'll go back, don't worry.
This is a dog. This is a cow. And this is
A pig.
Listen to what I tell you, pig.
We're gonna go back and read all of this, don't worry. I know I'm not gonna be able to read it in time, that's why.
I love animals. Do you?
Yes.
Oh, that's good. Do you want to see my favorite animal? It's one of these. Have you ever seen one of these? It's called a...
You're not animals.
All animals have teeth.
All animals have teeth.
Fucking terrifying.
You could kind of see his face faded there.
Jesus. I see it. It keeps pulsing.
I think we just witnessed a kid basically being taken there. It
Damn.
looked like whenever the kid answered, and maybe he didn't like the kid's answer, like Guby just completely vanished from the show for a few seconds and then came back. So is that how he gets these kids, by them like answering his questions? Or maybe if they say something he doesn't like, that's when he decides to...
It's kind of a dark take on Blue's Clues, because if you remember Blue's Clues, Blue's Clues had like pauses in their show for the audience to answer. Dora the Explorer did the same thing, back in the 90s and early 2000s. You know, it's like a dark take where you're not supposed to talk, you know. It's interesting.
Take them. Obviously, there's a lot to go back to and read in this one, so let's go check that out.
Shape? My favorite shape is...
My favorite shape is a circle.
Okay, so in that instance, right, he said, do you want to see my favorite shape? And then when the little girl answered and said her favorite instead, it seems like he got pissed. Like, he was like, yo, I was going to tell you my favorite. I didn't ask you for your favorite. Okay, so it seems like all these words and letters are jumbled, and this pretty much tell that it says only speak when spoken to. So I was kind of right. He was mad that she kind of just jumped in there and started talking. And then we get this screen here which says, I find
Technically, she did speak when spoken to.
myself consumed by thoughts of him, his antics playing out vividly in my mind's eye. The name conjured images of laughter and joy, of innocence and wonder. It was the embodiment of childhood itself, a beacon of light in a world grown dark with cynicism and doubt. I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't really know what that means, but we're gonna keep reading and see if we could form something here.
This is a cow, and this is a
pig.
Again, she speaks there when she wasn't spoken to, so she's in trouble with Guby. And
This time, yeah, she spoke without being spoken to.
this looks like, I'm guessing this says, listen to what I tell you, pig. Which is pretty messed up. Did he just call her a pig? Come on, bro. Guby, you better than that. Now we get another screen here. He was a manifestation of my own desires and aspirations, a being that willed itself into existence by planting seeds of creativity in the fertile soil of my mind. Deep down, I know that he's the one pulling the strings, weaving himself into the fabric of my reality until I can't remember a time when he wasn't a part of me.
Do you want to see my...
Okay, for the paragraphs, my theory is that when they were talking about him being a tulpa in the first episode, that this is kind of describing how he came into being.
my favorite animal? It's one of these.
So this is interesting. He says that his favorite animal is a person. Oh, and that's a new missing poster on the right. I'm guessing we're going to see it more clearly in a bit. Yup, Abby Lang. Okay, and looks like she was born on July 22nd, 2020. Last seen in her home on January 3rd, 2024, wearing a set of pink pajamas. Her parents, Jamie and Albert Lang, told one in the living room watching television when a loud hum. This time we're getting some context of like what the parents or whatever adult was around, what they may have heard or seen. It seems like the television started making a loud hum before she disappeared. Okay, this is interesting here. So this is a frame of Guby in front of a bunch of children here, and then some person who seems to be wearing a similar fit. I don't know if the tie is the same though, but this looks
I think this is the guy who came up with the idea.
like an actual human and not like this Guby. I wonder if these could be the same people maybe? Okay, here's the more full face on them. Looks like they have glasses and their face is crossed out. Yeah, that hair does look similar to Guby even with that like face on. And then we get another screen like this. I was merely a vessel, a conduit through which this enigmatic being willed itself into existence. And then that's pretty much it for that one. It was kind of hard to read Abby's missing poster because a lot of it was either glitched out or we just couldn't see it because it was censored or cut off. But it seems like that's our fourth missing kid at this point, and that kid went missing on January 3rd, which is when the Shapes video was posted. So again, keeping consistent with when these videos get posted, that's when a kid goes missing, or at least very, very close to it. Also, I think the text that we see on the screen with the black background is from the creator of Guby. It seems like Guby was created to try to bring joy to kids and to kind of bring light into a pretty dark world, but eventually things may have gotten twisted and this Guby persona or personality may have taken over the creator's mind a little bit. At least that's what it sounds like from what he's saying in the text here. As far as why it got so dark and twisted like Guby is now, I don't know yet, but this is just my theory so far. As just
I mean, that makes sense with what we've seen.
it's like kind of like a little midway break. I do really enjoy the series. I like that how it's set during modern day, and even though it's got that like old feel to it, a lot of the stuff is shown to us in like modern day. Like it almost looks like there's Google articles being shown to us at some point, and like these missing posters are modern. I like that it takes place current day because that's something that we don't see in most analog horrors. Obviously, because the whole analog style is usually like a 90s, 80s style vibe. But I do like that a lot. I'm enjoying this. I like that even though these videos are extremely short, you get so much information in them. Even though it's kind of annoying that we have to go frame by frame, I do like that puzzle solving aspect to it. This next video, though, looks a bit weird, and I think you'll see why in a second. So let's jump into the next one. Episode 6.
There's no name for it.
Okay, hold up. So we have a subtitle here, but H and T aren't highlighted. This video is also just called Learn with Guby, and he's nowhere to be found. So very interesting. There's no topic to this one, and he's not here. And there's a bunch of jumbled letters. I don't think these spell words like last time. Obviously, there's numbers in here now, but I'm gonna write down the H and the T. Okay, see now, TPS. It's gonna be a link. That's
I was just about to say that.
HTTPS right there. That's the beginning of a link. So I was right in thinking that it was a link that it was showing us, but I wasn't 100% correct. We do get the https://YouTube/, but all the things that come after it are a bit more complicated. When you go through the whole video, these are all the letters and numbers that you get, but when you punch in this link on YouTube, you get nothing. No video actually comes up. And that's when you have to look in the description. It's 162, 17, 71, 11, 8, 13, 15, 19. So basically what you're going to do with these numbers is you're going to number all of the letters that you got after the slash and then put them in that order. And this is the link that works. Secret episode.
Redacted!
Warning, this video contains bright, flashing lights and imagery that may cause discomfort and or seizures for those with photosensitive epilepsy. Viewer discretion is advised. Okay guys, so you've been warned. Here we go. Let's jump in. Interrupt, drain, elevator ankle, stratosphere, anchovy, what?
Oh, all the letters are capitalized. It's an anagram for something.
5 kids? I don't even know what the captions mean. They seem just like random words. This is insane. I don't even really know what I'm looking at. There's so
This is like seizure incarnate. I'm glad I gave a seizure warning prior to this. I'm definitely going to put a seizure warning in post.
many things flashing.
Even if you don't have epilepsy, this shit's probably going to hurt your eyeballs.
And like I said, the words just seem random. Doesn't seem like it's saying anything.
Jesus Christ. I don't want to skip forward because if I do, I might miss something.
It's because of their large and complex brains that mammals are able to pass survival information from generation to generation through learning. And the mammals with the most exceptional learning ability are the primates: monkeys, apes, and human beings.
Oh, this is going to be really fun to go frame by frame here, isn't it? Also interesting to know, Guby himself commented and said, "Wow, you did such an awesome job."
Bruh.
Basically saying like, hey, you did a great job that you got here. That's awesome. Okay, so quite a few things that I would like to point out here. The first one is the subtitles that are throughout the entire video. At first, I thought they were just random words with no meaning, but of course there is something behind them. The beginning of every word actually helps spell out a longer sentence, and basically what it says is, ideas are birthed from the mind. He let me in, and through him I'll let myself out. The larger pigs have less teeth. The smaller pigs have more to grow. How I feast upon the teeth, how I feast upon the teeth, how I feast upon the teeth.
Jesus. That makes sense why the Munchers was included in one of those episodes.
This is now, I think, the third time that we've heard or seen something about teeth. If you don't remember earlier, we got that little small short clip from that fable from like the 1970s, and it was about teeth. And if you remember, there was a guy using some kind of machine to like eat them or claw at them. So just remember that. There was also 3 of those strange number codes that we keep getting. The first one says, "Where are we?" asked Sophia. "We're in a beautiful meadow," whispered Michaela. "This is not a meadow," responded Sophia. You can almost kind of relate this to the whole meadow that we saw at the end of another clip. Now, maybe that's a stretch, but that's the only time I could think of a meadow. This also shows that even though the kids are being taken from their home, they are able to speak to each other somewhere. So whether they're in some kind of like TV dimension that Guby puts them in, or if they're at an actual place, who knows? The second number code says, "Hello."
Theory. Guby is projecting a different reality to each kid.
Joshua, come play with Guby. So I think that means that we have another missing kid here, and this one's name is Joshua. And the last number code says, "A sinister smile stretched across his face as he beckoned to them, the melody growing louder and more dissonant." What this one means, I have no idea. Maybe this is his way of calling them back to him in whatever world or place they're in now. Either way, still extremely creepy. Okay, so now we have 5 missing kids for sure. We have Michaela, Andrew, Sophia, Abby, and Joshua. Although we don't know much about Joshua yet, we definitely got to see his face because the 5 faces were shown there so many times. Wait, the Joshua thing is weird because I would have guessed that Josh was the 5th kid, but then I'm seeing this. In the video, we see James Bennett. I don't think, that's not one of the missing kids' names, right? Just double checking. No, so I don't even, I guess this is the 5th kid. I don't know where Joshua comes from. Maybe that's an error in the code translation. Some more info on Abby though. She went missing in Tucson, Arizona. I'm just gonna go through frame
It's Tucson!
by frame here just so you guys could see what I'm seeing here. You see a brain, seeing things from past episodes. In the background, you can see the dog. What was that there? That looks like a giraffe. This looks like Guby again here. Okay, well that's definitely odd. Is that a kid? Like, or a woman pregnant with a child? What are these things supposed to symbolize? Then there were shapes on screen for a second. Do you want to see my favorite shape? Okay, here we go. James Bennett went missing on February 11th, 2024 in Cheyenne, Wyoming.
Cheyenne.
Also, James did go missing on the same day as the animal video. So again, remaining consistent with these videos being uploaded.
James might have been the kid talking back to Guby. Tucson. Oh god, Darth. It's Tucson.
And kids going missing. At this point, I don't know how long this video is for you guys. Right now, I'm 2 hours into recording. That's how long it's taken me to go frame by frame in these videos. But there are 2 videos left, so let's keep trying to push through.
My Spotify.
Not anymore. Motherfucker. Motherfucker said not anymore. My ass. Goofy motherfucker.
Episode 7. Sounds. Oh, you're back to
My
normal.
name's Guby, and today we're gonna learn about sounds.
Sounds.
Uh-oh. Gooby's deforming.
Well, you don't sound good.
Just a heads up, there are seizure warnings.
Who are you?
Who the fuck is that?
This is a bird. And this is a car. This is a piano. And this
That was insane. You cannot deny that was insane. Bro made a piano sound with sock puppets.
is a dog.
That's actually so cool.
This is an airplane. And this is a...
No! No! We don't do emergency broadcast systems here. I have PTSD from that sound. I hate that sound. Fucking hate that sound. Nope. Nope.
It's like the alert sounds.
I hate Amber Alert sounds. I hate it. Gooby may be weird, but talented with that sock. Gooby's the yellow dude. The green dude is the one that's talented with the socks. But no, fuck that broadcast sound. We don't like that. No.
You?
Yes.
Aw, that's good. Do you want to hear my favorite sound?
Yeah. Tell me.
It's the screams of the thousands. The legions of hell.
I love that Gooby has a friend now. Oh my god, he's so derpy looking too. Like, just look
God. That emergency broadcast alert fucked with me.
at this dude. There's not a single brain cell in there operating, but he do got a hand talent. His hands do be making cool noises. But yeah, let's look at the end there. Obviously there was some frames hidden there, so let's go through them. I'm guessing it's another missing kid. Joshua. Okay, so we have a Joshua. Here's a better picture of his face in case you were wondering.
Yeah, I'm okay, Darth, I promise. I just... certain sounds at certain pitches and frequencies really fuck with me. And it's an irrational fear of the emergency broadcast system. There was not a thing in my life that triggered that fear. It was just the sound itself. If you need to take a minute, do so. I'm okay. I promise. I'm good.
Joshua Leonard, age 14.
He's 14!
Was last seen wearing a black t-shirt and gray sweatpants. His parents told police. Interesting, so we're going way higher in age this time. 14, that's the oldest by far, I think. He went missing on February 18th. We got some numbers, codes. All right, let me try to figure these out. Okay, so
It looks like he went missing in, Syracuse.
the first line of numbers we saw was Joshua wanted to know more than he should. I know it says Cogjua or whatever, but it's definitely supposed to be Joshua. And the second line of numbers says, and see where that got him. So maybe Joshua
was investigating because of all the kids that were disappearing. Looks like he was abducted from Syracuse, Washington.
kind of knew something was going on. And maybe he tried to watch the show for himself and see if he could, you know, figure out what was happening and ended up getting taken instead. Because Joshua's 14, there's no reason why he should be watching a show about sounds, you know? And here we go. 6 missing kids total now. That's the last frame of the video. But I think we got...
Guby is a well-traveled person. Well, yeah, he went to California, Idaho, Wyoming, Arizona. Yeah, I could definitely say he's well-traveled, but not for the ways we want.
Got everything out of that one, so I'm cool with that. Let's move on to the final video so far in the Guby series. Episode 8. Foods.
Okay, if you look at this thumbnail right here, there are a lot of creatures. Where did these guys all come from?
Alright, starting upside down. Where are we? Wait, hold on. I already want to go back. There was something at the beginning just there.
June 25th, 1951. Okay.
Ooh, hold on. I didn't mean to see that. June 25th, 1951. Okay. Where are we? We're in a beautiful meadow. Food. This is not a meadow.
The kids are trying to get to talk. Who is that? Guby is a resourceful person. No. No. I mean, yes, but no.
He's back. What things have you all learned today? We learned about animals and shapes. And sounds and colors and letters, and did you learn to speak when spoken to?
Oh no.
I love food.
Oh, is he gonna eat their faces? All the children are getting characters. Potentially, yeah, that's a good theory.
Do you? Oh, that's good. Food is necessary for all living things. Even things like me. Look into my eyes, my dear. Listen to my voice, little one. You can trust me, child.
No, he can't!
I would never lie to you.
I don't like that breathing. And you could see there's something in the background. I'm gonna guess it's the guy with a Guby mask. I'm very uncomfortable.
That audio at the end there is so distorted, it's hard to understand what I'm hearing. There was a lot of flashing images in that one though, and they all looked very old, so let's try to go back and take a look. I do think that conversation may have been between Guby and the kids that he's kidnapped already. Because we hear again the conversation, why are we in a meadow? This is not a meadow, which is a conversation we heard like 2 videos ago between 2 of the girls that went missing, and then it sounds like Guby jumps in there and he's like that more distorted text. And then of course while all that's happening, there's an actual episode going on in the background about food. But it seems like the more voices that we hear, the more people jump on screen. Now we have 4 people here now. And could these be the kids that he's abducted and now he's like put them into the show? Okay, so this is a really interesting image here. This is a very old image. And it looks like this is the person with glasses again, possibly. What are they doing here though? Like, what is this whole thing? And
It looks like a weird game of chess, but I could be wrong.
this must be from 1951, I'm guessing, because that's the date that they said earlier. Okay, so we get a freeze frame of this for a second. I have no idea what this is supposed to be, but it's weird looking. Oh my god, no way. Another missing kid? This one's name is Tina. Jesus, dude. Enough, Guby. Tina Nelson is the name of this one. Las Vegas, Nevada, February 27th, 2024. I would never lie to you, we are not the first. And then it looks like the TV turns off there. And it's interesting, you could see Guby like very slightly in the background here. I could only tell by his eyes, his hair, and this looks like the white of his shirt. And you hear some audio, but it's hard to tell.
Anything confirmed about this channel in terms of relations to crimes? It's an analog horror series. It's very fictional. So, no. Everything was purely made by the creator. These are not real missing kids posters, nothing like that.
Tell what it could be. Alright, so that was the series Guby and Friends. So far, because it's definitely not done yet. At the time of recording this, that is all the videos that are out, and that is all the information I could get so far. This one was a rough one just because there were so many like images that showed up for a single frame that had so much information, so I'm sure I probably missed things. If I did and you know.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, no, it's all fictional. Like, they make sure to tell you in the description.
Please let me know in the comments down below. But I want to give you like my rough theory of I think what's going on so far. I'm pretty sure that this group of kids that's being taken is definitely not the first. Obviously, they said it at the end of that last video, but I think there's some evidence to really show this. Throughout all of the videos, we see different versions of Guby, whether it's in this current modern style or if it's in an older style where it's like a puppet, or even we see like a live performance version where there's a guy with a mask in front of a bunch of children. So what I think happens is that every few years, I don't know, maybe every 10 or 20, Guby comes around and takes these children. Why? I'm still not sure. I think his motivation could be that he likes feasting on their teeth. However,
he wants to eat their teeth.
That works. I do think there's an actual reason behind this, but the whole teeth thing is backed up by the fact that we see teeth all throughout the series. And in that one secret video, Guby literally says that smaller pigs have more teeth. And I think you can relate that to children, how they have their baby teeth and their adult teeth at the same time. We're just waiting for our baby teeth to like pop out. But he then says, I'll feast on the teeth, I'll feast on the teeth. And that could be why he takes all these younger children first. I think the only time he takes someone older is when it seems like they were trying to find out what was going on. And maybe Guby just got rid of him just to kind of clean up, you know? As far as the June 25th thing, 1951, when you look up that date online, that's actually the first time that colored television has been broadcasted, which could be the first time that Guby was ever put on TV as well. There's also that other old photo that we looked at in the last video. Apparently that was for some like automated chess machine. I was struggling to find information on it. I heard some people say that's like the first form of AI, so that could mean that Guby is AI, which again references the I have no mouth and I must scream story, where it's a bunch of
that makes a lot of sense.
You're getting tortured by an AI.
You're giving a lot of information that not even film theory could give, so yeah.
I do think someone created Guby, and I do think that it may have evolved into something out of their control completely, and now it just enjoys taking children and maybe feasting on them in its own way. Obviously, we're going to find out more and more information, but someone's got to stop this. I mean, we're up to like, what, 7 children now, and it just continues more and more each episode. So I'm curious to see if someone's going to come out of the woodwork and try to stop it. Maybe like a sibling to one of the kids that have gone missing, maybe a parent. I mean, come on, there's got to be a correlation somewhere here that people are going to realize, like, whenever this TV show's on, someone goes missing somewhere around the country. But let me know your thoughts and theories in the comments down below.
I'm going to see if he has another video on Guby, because there's got to be more. This was 4 months ago, so I'm going to see if he has another video. If not, I'm going to see if there's a more recent video. Looks like he's a analog horror channel. It doesn't look like it, but I'm going to check and see if there's another Guby video. Okay, 4Plus did a video 3 days ago. So I'm going to take a look at that one. Guby growing like SCP. I literally said that because there's so much redacted shit. Like, there's so much. We're going to look into this one. This one's 30 minutes long. Maybe they've got some newer shit to look at. Seizure warning.
Isaac shape is a circle.
Guby is an SCP that escaped. Well, when I saw the first episode on TikTok a while back. Guby, from what I can understand, from what people were guessing, on the first episode was he is a tulpa. A tulpa, or a thought form, is a creature that is created in your mind that eventually escapes from reality into reality the more people believe in him. So, like, you know how as a kid we had imaginary friends and shit? So, from what I understand, imagine if enough people believed in your imaginary friend that it started, walking upon this earth. Mandela Catalog kind of played into that too. Like if you imagine hard enough, the entity will exist in your reality. That's what I think might be playing into this. I don't think he's an SCP, but I do think he might be a tulpa of some sort. And it would make sense because of the guy wearing the Guby mask and stuff like that, and how many, people have seen him.
Normally, when I take my quick glance at a new analog horror series, I can get a somewhat good idea as to what to expect going forward. That's not the case when it comes to this one, as I truly couldn't tell you what it is exactly I'm getting myself into here. I'm sure we all remember the good old days of being a young lad, turning on the TV, and watching your favorite educational children's show. Be it Sesame Street, My Good Friend Sid the Science Kid, hell, even these creepy bastards.
God, I used to have such vivid nightmares of Teletubbies related things. I would have dreams that the speakers would fucking pop up in my room, and they would say, like, time for Teletubbies, and they would all turn towards me in, like, this massive mechanical horde. I also had dreams of, like, y'all remember Noggin? That was, like, the baby show for Nick Jr. back in the day? I'd have dreams that the Noggin logo would fucking chase me around. Hey, can you react to my song? After we get these other videos going, I'll be more than happy to. Go ahead and put it in the chat, and after I get done reacting to Guby and Shin Sonic, I will definitely play it for chat. Is that okay? But yeah, no, the fucking sounds good. The fucking Noggin logo. I would have dreams of that thing chasing me around too as a kid. It was so weird. It was such a weird time.
Besides the last example, there was absolutely nothing frightening whatsoever about these programs. Pure, child-friendly fun. I doubt that's the case with this one.
Well, I mean, if you think of Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared, people didn't know what to expect either.
However, Guby and Friends. Sure, on the outside it may look like something made...
TeEtH if I think that's how you say your name. Feel free to put the song in the chat, and I'll take a look at it. Promise.
For your 3-year-old. Honestly, it looks like something you'd stumble upon on YouTube Kids. Perhaps it's a good thing the algorithm hasn't accidentally let this one slip over onto that side of the platform, even though it'd be kind of funny if it did. Each entry seems to take us through some basic learning, like your numbers and the alphabet. Thank God, because I always have trouble with those.
Uh-oh, I don't think I can solve this. I was never good at colors. Does this go here?
But I'm sure right off the bat...
So I should post Teletubbies in Discord. Noted. I'm not scared of them anymore. I'm not. But as a small child, yes, I was. I was terrified of them.
We are going to find out what sinister secrets lie beyond the surface of this supposed educational series. Hell, it even says analog horror in the titles. However,
seizure warning for anybody watching.
This seems like the perfect recipe for prime analog scares, considering anything frightening being shown to us will already directly contrast the childlike nature of the design we are being initially presented with. As always, be sure to check out the original series before diving in over here for us to try and figure out what's going on. But enough yapping. I think this warrants some safety gear in case things get a little sideways. I'd like to at least get a good night's rest after having to go through this horrific experience. But before I let you get too far, just wanted to say if you're new here and enjoy what you're watching, be sure to hit all those neat buttons down below as it really helps support the channel. And if you want to see more, be sure to follow us on Instagram and Letterboxd. Alright, now you can pass through. Learning numbers 1 through 10.
It's Guby.
Episode 1. We open up with a classic kid show opening, where we're introduced to our main character, Guby, and he wastes no time getting into the teachings of numbers.
This is number 1. Then, this is number 2. It comes after 1.
There's honestly something already off about this whole thing. Guby looks straight out of Smiling Friends, and the screen is constantly glitching out. But that's not the purpose of today's episode. We gotta learn the numbers. Once Guby is done teaching us
The numbers, Mason! What do they mean?
about the numbers 1 through 10, he goes on to tell us his favorite numbers.
Do you want to see my favorite number? It's on one of these. Have you ever
seen one of these?
In a, honestly not very shocking, turn of events, Guby pulls out a credit card, and this is where our episode begins to take its turn.
It's called a
Credit card. Bring it over here. Can you read those numbers on the front to me?
Sure thing, Guby. I'll be sure to get right on that. A very interesting start to this collection of videos, to say the least. I like how if this didn't have all the strange glitches and obviously that credit card bit, this could totally pass as kids' TV. Clearly, Guby has some ulterior motives behind the scenes, as he really wants these gullible kids who don't know any better to steal their parents' credit card info. What's a little strange to think about, however, is what were they supposed to do after that?
They don't tell you. They don't tell you. It's an elaborate ploy just to snatch your child through the TV.
Just have to read off the numbers to the screen? Guby would have to actively be listening in on the child speaking in some manner to be able to get the numbers from them. Looks like there's some strange shenanigans going on that would allow communication to occur within these planes. But if that's possible, this whole situation just got a whole lot creepier. Learning letters, A through Z, Episode 2. This episode follows a pretty similar format to the last episode. We get our intro, Guby introduces himself, except this time we are learning the alphabet. He goes through the whole thing one time, so I don't see how my kid will be able to remember this right off the bat. You're telling me I'm gonna have to also teach them?
Math is math! Letters are letters!
Once he finishes the alphabet, he goes on to explain that these fancy letters can also be used to spell words. And he is going to tell us his favorite 2 words. What are these words, you may ask? Well, I'll just show you.
My favorite words are help me. Please help me.
Just the phrase help me consistently repeated. And then he's very quick to end off this episode once he's done.
Now you know your ABCs. I'll see you next time.
Bye!
Bye.
Something that may have been hard to catch, however, is 2 very brief frames that flash on screen during the glitches, and boy are they telling. Our first frame seems to be a close-up of a missing child report for Michaela. Most of this is pretty unintelligible, but there's a bit we can make out. Michaela was last seen wearing a pink t-shirt and denim shorts, something visiting her grandmother. Authorities believe Michaela was abducted from the family room. The second quick frame gives us the full name, Michaela Akins. I'm gonna double check that.
Akins. I was right.
And we can see the 2 photos of our victim. I believe we all can easily deduce who our number 1 suspect is. I'm looking at you, Guby. So somehow this haunted kids cartoon has found a way to manipulate kids through the screen, getting them
Snatch your soul!
to provide their parents' credit card info, and at this point, potentially fully kidnapping the child. Scary stuff to start out with, but I'm very curious to find out what horrors await us further. Learning Colors of the Rainbow, Episode 3. If we thought the last 2 episodes were cursed, just wait until you see this one. Our intro begins and the distortion has certainly been turned way up. Everything Guby says is also completely glitched out to the point where, without these subtitles, we'd have no idea what he's saying. He goes through the colors blue, like the sky, orange, like an orange,
Even though the way it's distorted makes it look red.
green, like a leaf. Then we get to purple, which he describes as a bruise. That's a little odd for a kid's TV. And I'm sure we can all guess what his favorite color is. Sure enough, his
It's the color of blood.
favorite color is red, like blood. He also explicitly states he loves blood. And just like our last episode, there's some secret frames that get flashed very quickly. Our first is of another missing child report, except under the remarks tab, all we can see are these sporadic numbers, which I'm pretty sure has to mean something. Sure enough, putting all these numbers into a few decoders across Google gives us the answer we're looking for. Hey kids, Guby here. Today we're going to learn about Andrew. I'm guessing Andrew is our new missing victim. Our next frame has a kid just sitting by himself on the couch, looking at what I can only imagine is the TV. Frighteningly enough, I believe this is the POV of Guby, or whatever evil force resides within, staring back at our victim Andrew. Our next, and more scary, frame we get is of the full view of Andrew Connor's missing report, with a much more realistic, haunting look at Guby, to which we are then shown Michaela's missing report yet again. Guby isn't looking as friendly as he used to, I gotta say. As always, Guby immediately ends this episode, except this time we get a little stop-motion cartoon at the end here, which also doesn't seem very child-friendly.
Here you are. Try one of these.
We don't want your sweet snacks anymore.
From the looks of it, we're watching a kid denying these snacks a stranger is presenting. Denying those snacks might have been the worst mistake of their life, considering it looks like they get murdered right then and there. I ended up taking a screenshot and reverse Google image search to find that this little clip comes from some claymation video called The Munchers, a fable, and it appears to be some sort of kid's animation teaching you about dental hygiene. There's this antagonist character in the short that gives all the teeth these sweet treats, which leads to the scene we are presented with in the episode. There's gotta be some kind of supernatural force that is pulling these kids through the TV.
How I feast upon the teeth.
However, if I had to guess, if we remember the report from Michaela, it states that she was abducted from inside the family home, within the house. So unless Guby broke in through a window and snatched her up from inside, I have a feeling the only explanation is through the void inside the TV. Especially when we get that freaky POV shot of Andrew watching television. I have a sneaking suspicion someone was watching back. Learning Basic Shapes, Episode 4. This episode may be the shortest,
Learning basic shapes.
but it may also have the most clues. We get our intro and Guby is looking a little different. We can at least tell what he's saying, however, even though his voice is still robotic and distorted. We get into our shape learning and he begins flying through examples. And while they start out as regular shapes, they quickly become a bit more randomized into various objects. Plastic lid, plastic spoon, car battery, broken light bulb, rotten egg, broken dish, little girl, used eraser, and toenail clippings. Weird. Something to make note of is once
The little girl is probably the wildest one. I know we already saw it, but still.
he says little girl, we are flashed a picture of yet another victim, Sophia Anthony. We can then see another image resembling Andrew in front of the TV, except this time with Sophia. They gotta be getting pulled into the screens, I tell ya. Even when we get our missing person report that's very blacked out, just the mere sentence, she was watching TV, goes to further prove this. We get a little bit more information in the next quick frame that just says she was last seen in her father's home, and that no suspects have been found. In typical Guby fashion, he goes on to tell us his favorite shape. And I feel like I just had the secrets of the universe flash into my brain when he presents his favorite shape. That was a whole bunch of information flashed very quickly. So let's rewind a bit and see what we can find. A lot of what gets thrown at us are repeated images we've seen before, so I'll just point out what's new and important. We see...
Man, I still think that the puppet Guby looks like a rubber chicken. Like one of those squeezable ones that goes, ah!
This little orange dude who looks pretty funky, this guy wearing some freaky mask. Wouldn't be surprised if that's our evil Guby. We see those same missing reports flash repeatedly, except we are met with some quick text this time throughout. Do not look into his eyes. Do not listen to what he says. Do not trust him. He lies. Well, I could have told you that much. We also get a bit more coded messages that we gotta uncover. Our first little bundle of numbers translates to, he is not what he says he is. And then our next bit of code is quite a bit longer. panic surged through the children, their screams drowned out by the cacophony of his chilling melody, their hope for escape dwindling in the face of an insurmountable horror that seemed to have taken on a life of its own.
I mean, this creature can morph and flex into whatever, so I wouldn't be surprised.
So now we have two possible theories. One is that our man in the mask gets enough information out of these children to be able to hunt them down, and is also a very skilled kidnapper who is able to abduct these kids straight from inside their homes, even while other family members are around. Or, and this is what I'm still leaning towards, our Guby character is literally some sort of malevolent entity that is able to grab kids and bring them into the TV, where they would literally be lost forever, only potentially giving clues to anyone else watching by flashing reports of their own abduction onto the episodes. To end off this episode, all we see is some footage of what appears to be a desert landscape. Hopefully these kids can be saved from the TV, unless they were actually just kidnapped and killed and then buried in the desert. Learning about animals. Episode 5.
Not the aminals.
Our episode begins, and this time our intro is heavily glitched out. We even get a brief frame of what looks to be pigs here. And in a shocking turn of events, this episode seems to take place right after the last one, where he gives us his favorite shape. Except this time, we can hear the child on the other end giving input, claiming their favorite shape to be a circle, interrupting Guby, which probably wasn't a good idea.
My favorite shape is...
My favorite shape is a circle.
Guby takes it quite personally, and we see in the subtitles a jangled up message that can be rearranged into "only speak when spoken to." We're then brought to even more text. That seems to give heavy clues as to what exactly is going on here. I find myself consumed by thoughts of him, his antics playing out vividly in my mind's eye.
Yeah, only speak when spoken to, or your soul's gonna be snatched through the TV screen.
Name conjured images of laughter and joy, of innocence and wonder. It was the embodiment of childhood itself, a beacon of light in a world grown dark with cynicism and doubt. Is this the creator of the Guby show? It's now time to actually learn about our animals. We're shown a cat, a dog, a cow, but before Guby can tell us it's a pig, our smart child watching makes the guess and shouts the answer before Guby can get to it, which, once again, seems to really piss off Guby.
And this is
A pig.
This time, his text translates to, "Listen to what I tell you, pig." Jesus, Guby, that was incredibly rude. We get more text from our mysterious
Demon.
character. He was a manifestation of my own desires and aspirations, a being that willed itself into existence by planting seeds of creativity in the fertile soil of my mind. Deep down, I know that he's the one pulling the strings, weaving himself into the fabric of my reality until I can't remember a time when he wasn't a part of me. This character might actually be the creator of Guby, but not in the way I initially thought. It really sounds like this character was able to somehow manifest Guby into existence, and it doesn't sound like he intended Guby to be this malicious force out to kidnap children. We return to our classic Guby cartoon, and can still hear the girl that's watching the episode.
I love animals. Do you?
Yes.
Oh, that's good.
When Guby goes on to show off his favorite animal, he ends up showing a person, claiming people are animals too.
It's called a...
I don't know how a child would not be scared when he starts freaking the fuck out like that.
During the glitching, we can see yet another missing child report. We now have 4 missing children all at the hands of this cartoon menace. And based on the report, her parents had told them their daughter was alone in the living room watching television when a loud human, and then it cuts off. Maybe it is in fact
A loud hum, motherfucker.
someone breaking into the house and physically abducting the children. Our child interrupts yet again to say humans aren't animals, and Guby spazzes out saying all animals have teeth, which isn't true. Our character returns to give us a last bit of info. I was merely a vessel, a conduit through which this enigmatic being willed itself into existence. Our screen cuts to black, and all we can hear is coughing in the distance, and what also sounds to be footsteps. A door then opens and shuts before our episode ends.
That's pretty fucking freaky.
I believe it's also possible that Guby has possessed this man we are reading from, and could have him going out and doing the kidnappings. But Guby certainly also has the ability to watch people through the screens. Who knows? He could be watching me right now as I type this. Learning Things, Episode 6. This one is definitely one of the more out there ones, to say the least. For starters, Guby is nowhere to be seen at all. In this almost 6-minute episode, there is no sign of him. What we do get, however, is a bunch of jumbled up letters and numbers that appear at the bottom. While most of the text is white, some are grayed out, as you can see. When putting all the grayed out letters and symbols together, it comes out as the beginning of a YouTube URL. Then as the remaining minutes of this episode go on, we occasionally get another letter or a number that appears on the screen in different places. Time to get to work. All of that combined leads us to another complete jumble of letters and numbers, and if you try to add that to the end of the YouTube URL, it doesn't take you anywhere. Yet if you look in the YouTube's description, there is another set of numbers right at the top, starting from 1 and ending at 19. And would you look at that? There is a total of 19 letters and numbers in the remaining piece of this supposed URL. In the little bundle, if you only keep the pieces that align with this number code, we finally get a working link, which takes us to a brand new unlisted episode. Hidden Entry, Episode 6.5. Our episode begins this time with a flashing lights warning before we get our intro, and boy is it for sure flashing. The whole episode has Guby in the middle making just bizarre noises, as we get a bunch of images flashing on the screen. Mainly images of our missing children, and a lot of the previous images and ciphers we have been flashed already throughout the series. Except at the bottom, we get a bunch of random words that frequently pop up. And considering the beginning letter of each word is capitalized, I have a sneaking suspicion that's what we need to focus on. Taking all the first letters, we get quite the message. God, this episode is truly headache-inducing with those lights. Ideas are birthed from the mind. He let me in, and through him I let myself out. The larger pigs have less teeth. The smaller pigs have more to grow. How I feast upon the teeth. Seems like another message similar to that of our last few that were spread throughout episode 5, except a lot more sinister, almost like it's Guby himself doing the talking. Also, there has been a lot of mention of teeth throughout the series. We have the
teeth, munch on the teeth,
direct reference to that teeth claymation. Then we have Guby saying all animals have teeth, and now he is feasting upon the teeth. What is it with teeth in this series, I wonder? We also have a bit more of those number codes littered throughout as well. Our first one translates to, "Where are we?" asked Sophia. "We are in a beautiful meadow," whispered Michaela. "This is not a meadow," responded Sophia. Sounds like the spirits of our missing kids are managing to communicate with each other. Our next message translates to, "Hello, Joshua. Come play with Guby."
No. Wait. What?
Something to note is that whenever Joshua's name is being translated, it comes out as Kashua. Might be something, but it also might not. Our third and final hidden message, which is a lot more sinister, translates to, "A sinister smile stretched across his face as he beckoned to them, the melody growing louder and more dissonant." Is the sinister smile stretching across Guby's face, or Joshua's? Matters would be made even worse if these kids are also being manipulated into doing Guby's bidding. There's definitely
his smile does stretch across his entire fucking face.
Some kind of realm that Guby resides in where he is able to pull these kids into, and they exist in this weird state of being, it seems. Who knew that Guby and friends would have so much code deciphering, but here we are. Episode 7.
We're catching back up, chat.
Our episode begins, and Guby is actually appearing like his normal self. However, not for very long. He begins to glitch out a little, and before you know, there's a new character in the mix, here to help us out in learning about sounds. I know the name of this cartoon was always Guby and Friends, so it's nice to finally get introduced to one of his pals, even if he never says anything and just sits and stares into my soul. Also, looking back at it, I think this guy came out of Guby's mouth. He literally threw up a new person. Interesting.
Wow.
We end up going through some sounds, and whenever he names a sound, the exact noise comes out of these little hand puppets. All the sounds we are presented with are pretty normal at first, until at some point Guby starts flashing in and out of frame as the noise of an Amber Alert gets blasted.
I just noticed that the green dude actually opens his real mouth when the Amber Alert starts playing.
And wouldn't you know it, it's the sound of people screaming.
Do you want to hear my favorite sound?
That was a pretty quick episode, but there were a few frames hiding some important information near the glitchy segment. First off, we have yet another missing victim. This time, Joshua Leonard, who oddly enough is the oldest victim so far, and he was mentioned in the decoding in the last entry. Normally the children going missing were more so around the ages of 3 and 9, but Joshua here is 14. We also get some more coded numbers to tell us a bit more of Joshua's fate.
Joshua had to have been trying to fucking figure out what was going on. I mean, he's old enough to know something's wrong.
Wanted to know more than he should, and see where that got him. Sounds like Joshua tried putting on the detective hat, and attempted to find out what was happening with these missing kids, and wound up getting taken himself. I wonder how far he got, and what he was able to figure out. The very last thing we see in this episode is another scene from that TeEtH claymation snippet, except this time, our tooth accepts the treat, and then seemingly glitches out of existence. The last thing we see in this episode is a very brief frame, where we can see there have been now 6 missing victims. Guby is on a rampage. Learning about foods.
Alright, now we're caught up, and apparently there are more, so brace yourselves, chat.
Episode 8. Our episode begins, and we are immediately met with some new captions. One in black that shows what Guby is trying to say, and the ones in white seem to take place inside this TV realm. It's similar to what we decoded last time, with Michaela describing the place they are in as a beautiful meadow, except this time it goes a little bit further. One of the kids just saying he's back. Then Guby shows up to ask them what they all have learned. They respond just saying they learned about animals, shapes, colors, sounds, and letters. Guby then just responds with, "Did you learn to speak when spoken to?" Before we then cut back to our Guby episode and can see a lot of our new friends have shown up. Other than our little green guy, we have 2 more friends. I sure hope our missing children aren't being turned into these things. We return to black and Guby
That's what Darth thought too. And I agree with him.
begins talking about how much he loves food, that all living things need food, even things like him. We then are shown a TV flashing static, with more cryptic messages from Guby himself. "Look into my eyes, my dear. Listen to my voice, little one. You can trust me, child. I would never lie to you." We're then very quickly flashed text that just says we are not the first. How many kids has Guby kidnapped? While Guby was going on about how much he likes food, however, we were met with a quick frame full of more text. "It is strange how vividly he appears in my dreams. He dances through the darkness, his form shifting and morphing with each passing moment. Sometimes he's playful, bounding through the fields of wildflowers with a carefree abandon." I don't think that's a real word. With a carefree abandon. There we go. Other times, he's full of hatred, his eyes burning with a malevolent fury that seems to consume the very essence of my being.
So Gooby's got borderline personality disorder?
We get another frame of text a couple seconds later that just says, "But now, as I search for him amidst the tangled labyrinth of my thoughts, I find only emptiness. It's as if he has outgrown the confines of my
See, this solidifies that he's probably a tulpa.
imagination, venturing forth into the vast unknown, never once looking back." The last thing we are met with in this episode is just the sound of static and heavy breathing. Maybe this is all there is in the TV dimension. Nothing has really changed so far in terms of what's going on in the series. We did, however, get a little peek into what life is like for these kids trapped inside the realm. Some of the kids, like Michaela, seem to have fallen into the trap of believing Guby, claiming where they are to be a beautiful meadow, somewhere you would want to be, while Sophia appears to be heavily questioning her situation.
Yeah.
I wonder if this is supposed to correlate to those 2 clips we saw of the stop-motion teeth people. Sophia represents the tooth that rejects the sweet treat and gets attacked for it, while Michaela represents the tooth that gleefully accepts the treat and then gets fully taken away. Critical process died. Episode 9. Our episode begins, and this time our big pink friend is center frame.
Big one!
Take us behind those rocks.
Moving behind the rocks.
with Guby occasionally poking in and out. But the main focus of this episode is the garbled text we get yet again at the bottom. Instead of a bunch of numbers, we have to decode. What the hell did I write? Instead of a bunch of numbers we have to decode, this time we have letters. But thankfully, Google is the godsend.
Ciphers.
The randomized letters actually translate to something very interesting. Hello, can you hear us? I keep seeing him flash into frame. I think he's already onto us. I'm afraid this might be our one and only chance of reaching you. As soon as he figures out what we are doing, he'll block off any and all avenues of communication. We're going to try to overload the system. We should be able to break through without his interference. Hang tight, sweetie. We'll reach through in the next episode. It sounds like the parents of one of the missing children was able to solve the case and managed to reach.
Oh no, that's amazing, but holy shit, if Guby finds out.
Through to one of their kids. What's interesting to note is that this episode ends with a PC blue screen of death. I wonder if some kids were accessing this show through their computers and getting sucked in that way. Most of the reports had the children watching TV when they were last seen, but it's possible not all of them were watching the show on their television, but instead were using their computers. Maybe that's how an avenue opened up for these parents to commence this system overload. But right when you thought we were caught up and done with the series, there's a damn QR code that takes us to yet another hidden episode.
Damn!
Learning about senses. Episode 9.5. We're back to a bit more of a recognizable format with Guby this time around. And this time we are learning about senses, and all his friends are here to help. Oddly enough, whenever he mentions a sense, the picture that is shown definitely does not represent what he's talking about. We even get yet another bit of code, which, if I'm being honest, running this through all the decoders I could find wasn't getting me anything. But luckily, we got some higher IQ folks in the comments to decode it for me. You'll see Grandma and Lainey again soon. This is more than likely yet another message from one of the missing kids' parents.
Oh, is that Michaela's parents?
Now when I say this has a scene with aggressive flashing lights, I mean it. So we're going to save you the headache and move the text elsewhere. But nonetheless, this message we get is incredibly revealing. It sounds like we were semi-correct.
Oh my god!
Michaela has fallen for the tricks that Guby has placed on her, making her believe that this beautiful meadow that she is in is real. Luckily, it sounds like as of this moment, Sophia isn't falling for it. Would you believe me if I told you there was yet another QR code hidden throughout this video leading us to yet another secret episode? Well, during the scene with the insane flashing lights, there were 4 instances where a piece of a QR code gets flashed on screen. Put those together and give it a scan, and we're brought to this new special video. Secret Guby Entry, Episode 9.7. There isn't too much in this episode. It appears to just be a very old ad for toothpaste or even a whole dental practice. But it does fit the repetitive theme of teeth throughout the series, and the word missing gets flashed a whole bunch, clearly in line with our missing victims. I may not be correct in the slightest here, but I do have an idea.
I may not have a brain, gentlemen, but I have an idea.
I have a feeling that whoever is behind this ad about toothpaste or the dentist is our character that accidentally manifested Guby to life. There isn't much to point out in this other than the fact that this entry is all about teeth, and Guby seems to have an odd fascination with teeth. But that technically brings us up to date on this whole Guby nightmare, and I have a theory I believe is pretty sustainable. It's clear that Guby was manifested into existence as some living entity that resides in the TV. It sounds like he continually feeds off of that manifested energy that comes from people's imagination. He's basically a stand. Kids are pretty well known to have a much stronger imagination than adults, so that would explain why Guby is exclusively after younger children, only ever going after the teenager Joshua after he was learning too much. What does this all have to do with teeth? I'm not so sure. But there are now a total of 6 missing children locked behind the screen and being tricked into believing the world they now live in is real. Luckily, it seems like some of the parents have figured out this whole ordeal and are working towards bringing them back to safety, so not all hope is lost. The kids don't seem to be dead or anything, but just trapped in some other plane. I definitely really enjoyed my time here with Guby and his friends. When starting the series, the last thing I expected to be doing was cracking a ton of puzzles and
It does kind of feel like a weird Saw movie in a way.
having to put together a huge mystery about missing children. I really like how this series incorporated its analog nature into its story. I always like when the platform I'm literally watching the show on is the threat. In this case, the screens. Luckily, I'm a bit too old and my imagination is too weak for Guby to have any interest in me. Overall, while this may not be a necessarily scary analog horror, it certainly was an interesting one. The looming mystery of how
And it's just gonna keep going. Promise you.
these kids went missing and how it connects to this weird-looking kids show was really fun to try and figure out. I think the visuals were very well done. As you can tell, this was 3D animated by someone with a good attention to details, especially when making it look straight out of your early kids' TV programming. If you haven't already, I highly recommend you check out Guby and Friends for yourself. Maybe even show it to your kids to help them learn. Kidding. Or am I? That'll just about do it for today's video. If you made it all the way to the end...
Alright. Now that we've got a comprehensive understanding of Guby to date, we are going to go to the next one. YouTube, thank you for watching. Subscribe if you can. Like it if you like it. Dislike it if you dislike it. Give me constructive criticism as needed. Destructive criticism if I need that as well. I'm going to head to the restroom right quick, and then we're going to go on to Shin Sonic, and then tHe. If you're still here, we will react to your song next after that. Okay? Sound good? Alright, guys. Peace.